Welcome to the Speed to Dominate podcast. I'm your host, as always, Derrick, Coach Harper, MBA. What does the MBA stand for? Masters of Business Administration. And, man, I'm here, man. This is my first episode, and so I'm excited about this, man. This time, I'm just kind of want to explain to you kind of what's going on and why do we decide to do this and why I'm here and why you're listening to me right now or watching me on YouTube, because we are on YouTube at Coach Harper. I've got to do all of the things, man. This is my first time, so I don't know kind of like how we're going to, like, you know, the words that I'm going to be saying every single time, man. It'll evolve into something. It'll definitely evolve into something. And so, man, I'm just excited to just be here and talk to you guys. What I do know is that this is going to be a podcast for you guys, for coaches, for parents of athletes, for parents / coaches like me, like myself. I'm a parent / coach. So I can relate to you guys who are out there. I want to be a thought leader. So I'm going to be a thought leader in this space about new things, new technologies that are coming out that's going to help kids run faster. It's going to help your older athletes run faster, your kids who are in high school, and also some college athletes. And what I envision this to be a thing where I'm bringing in, you know, college coaches, and we're talking about, you know, the training and all of the things that are going to get the kids faster, whether it be football, basketball, track and field, and all of that stuff, because I see a need, a huge need in even college sports for kids to run properly and to get faster by running properly. And I see a lot of, especially, man, the biggest one that I really see is in Division I women's basketball. A lot of the girls just don't know how to run. And we're trying to be a thought leader, or I'm trying to be a thought leader, or I am a thought leader in this space, and where we're going to lead, you know, these colleges into a new era of learning, teaching their kids how to sprint properly and how to be better runners. So not only are we going to talk a lot about track and field, we're going to talk about a lot about just sprinting in general. And this is just going to be a podcast, like I said, for you guys to come in, gain some insight on some new technologies, gain some insight on new training, and new insight on just how you're going to build today's athlete as far as sprinting goes. Because a lot of times we just get out there and we just tell kids, hey, go faster. But they're like, how do we go faster? What do we do, right? And so I want to be bringing a new, fresh perspective to that. And as always, I want to bring in like the top people in the industry to talk to you guys about the things that are going on now, including myself. And so that's what this podcast is going to be about. So I just want to start for the people who don't know who I am. I just want to let you know who I am and where I come from. So my name is Coach Harper, right? And I started coaching track and field. Well, I actually started running in high school. At my junior year, I started running track and field my junior year in high school. And I always had a lot of talent, and I had this raw speed. And my coaches were trying to get me as a freshman to go out to run track and field. And so I didn't listen till I was a junior, and I started really taking this seriously, because I'm like, hey, I'm in 11th grade. I'm going to go to college. So I need to get myself together and get recruited. I hadn't gotten any offers. Nobody was looking at me. So I'm like, okay, I need to get faster for football. So I went out and ran track, and I spent my entire junior year and my entire senior year learning how to run correctly. And then I spent my entire senior year trying to get a scholarship. And for those coaches who know, trying to get a scholarship in your senior year is kind of like, you know, trying to jump off a bridge and survive almost, right? And so my whole senior year, I wasn't able to land a scholarship for football. But I did have track available, so I started to do that. And then, of course, you know, I wasn't the best academically. You know, I was like middle of the road, like my band teacher used to always say, you kind of middle of the road. So I was middle of the road when it came to academics. So I ended up landing in junior college, and then I had to pay for my first 2 years of college. So my first 2 years of college, I got my act together, still didn't get my grades right, but I ended up going to Saginaw Valley State University. I was recruited by Michigan State. almost went to Michigan State. That's for another story, another podcast. But almost went to Michigan State, or maybe it's for this podcast. I don't know. Almost went to Michigan State. Ended up going to Saginaw Valley, but I enjoyed my time at Saginaw Valley because I met some really good guys there. I ended up playing with Coach Matt LaFleur, who is the Green Bay Packers head coach at the time of this recording. Hopefully he still stays there for years to come. But, I played with him. He was the quarterback of our team. And so I ended up playing there, finally got a scholarship. But guess what? My eligibility ended. And it's because after my eligibility ended, then, you got to start paying for school now. And so it was very expensive to go to school there. So I ended up coming back home and going to play in the band, consequently, in the band at Norfolk State University. So I finished my degree at Norfolk State University, and I became a track coach and football coach after a couple of years. And I was like, this is the best part of my day, being a football coach and track coach, right? Every day that I left my job and went to coach, I was like, this is the best part of my day. And so because of that, I was like, I started to pursue a career in coaching. And I started to pursue a career in coaching. I tried to get to college, and I actually ended up coaching football at a junior college level prep school. Was an offensive coordinator there. After a year, the program folded, as they normally do. And I ended up coming back and continuing my track coaching at Bethel High School in Hampton, Virginia, the same high school that Allen Iverson went to. Yes, I'm a product of that environment, I guess. Or not a product of that environment, but a student from that environment, I guess. And so I started coaching there under Coach Eddie Williams, who is an amazing coach who now coaches at Virginia Military Institute. Was coaching there for about 10 years. And then I left there and I came to Georgia. And I became a head coach in Georgia, and I coached at Berkmar High School, and then I went to Roswell High School and became a head coach at Roswell High School. And those were those years were the most fun I had coaching, because I was running the show. I was the man, and I was like, here's a time for me to show exactly what I can do, because I've had tremendous success at Bethel High School. I had kids who were ranked top in the nation. I had about 3 or 4 kids at Bethel High School ranked top in the nation in long jump, triple jump. And then I went to Berkmar, and I had a kid who was ranked top 10 in the nation in the long jump. I had a girl who jumped 19'9", and she totally blew the county away, right? She still has the record in the county. In Gwinnett County, and then again, she was ranked number 1 in Georgia for long jump, and she's ranked number 10 in the nation. Imagine that. She jumps 19'9" and is ranked 10th in the nation. 19 feet used to be a big deal back in the day. 19'9" is okay, yeah, you can walk with the big dogs. You ain't the top dog, but you jumped 19'9" back in 2007. You were the top dog, right? So that's just lets you know that things are changing, things are evolving. So, I had her, and she had jumped that 19'9", ranked top 10 in the nation, went over to Roswell after serving at Berkmar High School, became a head coach of the girls team at Roswell. You know how that goes. You work with the girls team, you're the head coach, but you also work with the boys. So I had a kid over there who was running 11.3 in the 100. A guy dropped him down to 10.7 in the season. He ended up going to University of Tennessee to play football, and did really well there. So I've had a lot of experience, and I developed a method that I call the H.A.R.P.E.R method, and that method is the thing that teaches the kids how to run properly and gets them faster in a shorter amount of time. And the fastest that I've gotten someone to go faster, 6 seconds faster, was in 2 weeks using this H.A.R.P.E.R method. And so I'm going to be telling you guys about this H.A.R.P.E.R method on this podcast. I'm going to actually be bringing in other people so we can talk about, what are their thoughts on it, and what are their thoughts about the new and evolving ways to train your athletes, and what are the new and evolving ways to get your kids faster, all of these things, man. So I'm excited about this podcast, man. I'm excited about where we're going. And I just really just can't wait to just expand or just put my expertise out there. And so you guys can learn, and hopefully we can work together in the future. All right. So, that's just the thing. That's just where we at with it right now. And I'm excited about the journey, man. Also, make sure you keep coming back and listening. If there's someone that you feel might benefit from this podcast, bring them along. Let them come and listen. And man, it's going to be a good time, man. So I'm going to leave you with what I'm going to be doing every time I finish. And I leave you with my saying is, everything that you do today affects your future. So remember tomorrow. I'm Coach Harper, and I will talk to you another time.